Hi everyone, I'm here today with a video that's a little different than normal. You know that I like to shake things up a bit, keep you on the edge. Hopefully I can find time to reach out and find services, products, maybe even topics to film about. Bring up conversations in the future, topics that are intriguing y'all at home, or services that y'all are thinking about receiving, or services that y'all may not know about. Today I'll be discussing and showing you a great procedure. So before I start, I want to start the story with a little bit of a backstory. I have always lived with the condition, and I've dealt with this issue very quietly and very privately, the best that I could. My family and my husband do recognize that I have struggled with this issue my whole life. I suffer from excessive sweating. For as long as I could remember, I've always had to keep my arms down. I've always had to wear tank tops or cover-ups that are usually dark in color. And as I've gotten older, it's just easier to wear darker clothes everywhere I go and incorporate darker clothes into my wardrobe. So thank goodness that my favorite color is black. It's not on purpose, I promise. My senior year in high school, I was in athletics, and I remember that was the year that I did a lot of testing of the deodorants. I did happen to find a couple that managed to keep me from throwing my shirts away within a year or so, but the beauty industry does change, and it changes quite often. And products do disappear. So needless to say that a lot of trial and errors throughout my life with deodorants and antiperspirants did happen. And sometimes in certain places, those places didn't offer those products, and it made it really hard sometimes to find what I needed, and I had to substitute or go to other alternatives. And it was always a back and forth battle of what would work and what wouldn't. It was always a constant struggle. And for those that understand what I'm going through, you know exactly, you probably have done the same thing. So fast forward to now, as I've gotten older, my underarm sweating has decreased somewhat, but I'm still very, it's still very, very inconvenient, and I'm still unable to wear certain colors and certain fabrics. Perhaps the decrease is due to hormonal changes for just my body changing in general. A few weeks ago, I was very excited to receive a service that I had no idea would change my life for my day-to-day living. I met Amberly Russell through a mutual business interest. As her and I were discussing each other's side of aesthetics, she was telling me her passion and what part of the industry really captures her. And it's the medical side that really just draws her to aesthetics. Now, as a solo esthetician, I'm not regulated to practice with certain machines or provide specific services. So I have found this area of aesthetics very interesting. I always have, and I always will. Amberly was telling me about this service. She and the practice she works for would soon be offering a service that not only would change her life and many people close to her, but it would change my life as well if I decided to take a chance on the technology and trust their practice to provide it to me. Now, a few of y'all might be asking, well, what is it? How does it work? I need more information. So how does it work? A service that can take away underarm perspiration and odor in as little as one visit. A service that is permanent and immediate, non-surgical, can be completed in an hour in most cases, and a technology that is FDA approved. Now, I will say that there will always be a level of skepticism when it comes to a new service or new technology, especially if it's non-surgical and advertised as permanent in as little as one treatment. I mean, not even laser hair removal is permanent in one treatment. So, considering that this is underarm perspiration, and it's been an issue for so many people for so long, it's really leaving them with little or to no room to treat the issue prescription antiperspirants and Botox injections are the two most recent and most common treatments that have came to mind, and most of other people that has came to their mind. But Botox isn't just the go-to drug anymore for fine lines and wrinkles. Botox has been FDA cleared for treating migraines. It's been cleared for muscle spasms, as well as hyperhidrosis. Hyperhidrosis is a condition characterized by extreme sweating and excessive sweating. Our primary hyperhidrosis affects the hands, the feet, and the underarms, and often has no identifiable cause. If the sweating occurs as a result of another medical condition, it is called secondary hyperhidrosis. Now, it has been used off-label to reduce sweating in other areas, such as the hands and feet and face, but the typical cost for 2 underarms is $1,000. Now, with receiving those kind of injections with Botox, you can resume normal activities after receiving a round of Botox. And in about 5 to 7 days, you can see less amounts of perspiration, and it can take up to 2 weeks to see total dryness. It just seems like a lot of money to put forward for a service, considering that the service isn't permanent. It's semi-permanent. No matter where you inject Botox, it's never going to be permanent. For underarm sweating, dryness can last anywhere from 4 to 14 months, depending on a person's metabolism rate of the Botox and the amount of Botox given. Although hyperhidrosis can be effectively treated by Botox, in many cases, insurance companies will not float the cost. Now, the technology that I keep mentioning and going back to, and I keep comparing to the prescription antiperspirants and the Botox injections, that is going to blow everyone's mind, and that is FDA approved, and the technology that's been the big buzz around Oklahoma City right now. Let me show you. The Mirror Dry system is FDA cleared for the treatment of unwanted underarm sweat and odor, as for the permanent removal of unwanted underarm hair. Patient results and experience may vary. Mirror Dry has been featured in Allure Magazine, Cosmopolitan, Good Housekeeping, Huda Beauty, People Magazine, and Refinery 29. Mirror Dry uses thermal energy to create heat in the area where bothersome sweat and odor glands reside and safely eliminates them. Local anesthesia is a part of the service. I'm not sure how many injections of lidocaine that I personally received, but I'm terrified of injections. I will say that up front. I receive cosmetic injections regularly, and I do dislike receiving them, but I do enjoy receiving the outcome. Same thing goes with tattoos. I kind of dislike receiving tattoos, but it's a different kind of take than a medical injection. People with tattoos, if they have a fear of needles or injections, they know exactly what I mean. I know personally, if I were to look over and see what or how or whatever she was about to do with a local anesthetic and continue forward with the procedure, and what was going to go into my underarm, there would be a good chance I would have postponed the service. No doubt. I will tell you that I only felt the first 3 injections, so it can't be that bad. Me telling you it can't be that bad. You'll only sweat once. Just being honest. After I was numb, my arm pit was transformed into an arm hill, if you will. This process allows my underarm to have a shape that makes this service possible. A process that includes application of a temporary tattoo that is used to evenly guide the technician during the service, and then forming the underarm in such a way that will evenly distribute suction into the handpiece. Oh my gosh, look how big my armpit is.
Yeah,
it swells up so much, it's so funny. They need to quit eating all these M&Ms.
Yeah. Girl, that's the lidocaine in your arm. That's not
No, like it's, I think more than half of it is these leggings. Well, this should know what these
She's addicted to doing
Dude, M&M's are my jam.
that. They're great.
There's a half bag of theater size on my fingers. As a disclaimer, I didn't include footage of the numbing or injecting of the underarm for this testimonial. I have witnessed people who were watching other people receive injections and become influenced by the reaction of the one receiving the service or the injection. And the reaction influenced their decision to receive the service itself. That goes for lip filler, Botox, or any other type of injection on the face or body, especially when they have a fear of needles or injections themselves. The level of discomfort from the injections and numbing solution does vary from person to person and may be easier or more difficult. I feel my portrayal may be the incorrect reflection of your experience. I would also like to add restricting footage such as injections comparable to the service, like cosmetic injections and anything further, is best for a public platform. Restricting the content keeps unlicensed and uncertified individuals from practicing at home or in unsanitary environments. So I'm just gonna sit here and talk a little bit about my experience, a little candid for a second. Right after I received the service, the very next day, my husband and I, we left the state for a little 24-hour getaway. So I was in the car for a few hours, I think about 5 on the way down. Or after receiving the service, we went home and I was sore. I put the ice packs underneath my underarms, and of course they were already warm by the time we got home, so I stuck those in the freezer. When I woke up the next day, I was really sore. It was super hard to move, but I will say that it felt so good to stretch. It felt good to do these motions and to just really to stretch, almost like how you would stretch after a good arm workout. So I always tried to keep that in mind, and Ashley and Amberly did tell me that doing those movements would improve the feel and just kind of move that saline around. I will quickly say, right after the service on the way home, about 40 minutes, because I was laying down the whole time, I sat up on the way home, because this was about 40 minutes from our house with traffic. I don't know if it's because I sat up or because it was all the movements afterwards, but that lidocaine had moved downwards and I couldn't feel my elbow. And it was the craziest feeling, because I would want to itch my elbow and I couldn't itch it. And nothing is more annoying than to have an itch that you cannot scratch. And now I'm just sitting here just like beating my elbow. It's super annoying. Thankfully that went away by the time I woke up the next day. Okay, back to traveling. Traveling the next day, I had to constantly remember to move. Of course I forgot my ice packs. Sorry, Amberly. Sorry, Ashley. I forgot my ice packs. They're super cute, by the way, and I'm always going to use them. They're super tiny, they're super cute, right there on my under eyes. Why wouldn't I put them there? Definitely the biggest thing is to stretch. Now at night, thank goodness I'm a side sleeper and I do move from side to side. So whenever I would move from side to side, I would lay on my arm on each side, which would continue the stretching movements. So what I feel now that it's been 2 weeks and 2 days. Yes, 2 weeks and 2 days. So for a couple days afterwards, it took about 3 days for all of the actual puffiness to subside. I will include some of the pictures that I took on my Snapchat, and I'll put them somewhere here on the screen, right here, or anywhere, really. I wanted to keep my viewers up to date while kind of teasing them of what's going on. I asked them on my way home that night, like a teaser question. What if I told you there was a solution in one visit and it was permanent to underarm sweating? And people were very, very interested. So with that interest, I wanted to make sure that I followed through of keeping people updated as to what it looks like day by day without giving too much away, because I knew that this video was coming and a lot of questions probably will still be asked, and I want to keep those questions maybe kind of here so a lot of people can come and read those questions or save them for the practitioner that is going to be giving them their service, or ask Ashley or Amberly at Elevate Wellness and Aesthetics in Norman, Oklahoma. So after a few days after the puffiness went down, I still to this day notice a few knots. And I'm pretty sure that that's the saline, which can take up to 12 weeks to fully dissipate. So Amberly and Ashley fully prepared me for that and gave me all of the information. And I have been deodorant free. I have been completely sweat free since then. It's the craziest thing. I'm literally grabbing my clients, my friends, my family. I'm grabbing their arms and I'm putting their arms or their hands underneath my underarms and just like sawing my underarms, and I'm like, okay, smell your hand. Okay, look at your hand. And then I'm like showing them my underarm and showing them that it's dry. And their mind is blown, and of course they want more information. I'm like, okay, well, this video is coming, it's coming. They're super excited. The thought that there's finally a service and a procedure here to give the confidence back to people that might be holding them back from them doing something or being a part of something or advancing them for whatever reason, or from whatever it is that they want to do, and this is the reason, they can do that now with, I mean, you consider how many times they would have gotten the Botox treatments with the price that I have, the equivalent price that I have said. You take that price that I had said and then you compare it to the one-time price that people are paying, and then you look at the overall result of what they're doing with that result and the confidence that they're getting. This is not just a procedure or a cosmetic procedure or something that someone's gonna look at you and say, oh my gosh, why did you do this to yourself, or why are you getting this done? This is where this blows my mind. I have always been fascinated by the medical industry. I have always been in love with the aesthetics industry, and we just combined the confidence boost and the other testimonial. It's an overall an amazing feeling that two fields, whether it's in a doctor's, I mean, the office that I went to, it was a medical aesthetics office. It's not just a medical procedure. I feel like maybe it's okay to sweat. I can go to the gym and know that I can leave and it's fine that I'm sweating from my underarms. It's okay that I'm sweating from my back. It's okay that I'm sweating from every orifice of my entire body, but I cannot leave my bathroom wearing a lime green shirt and not look like a sweating pig because I have this excessive sweating condition. I know I personally would feel like I'm some kind of patient if I were to go to a hospital or doctor's office for going to get it fixed. In my head, it just makes sense to witness, in my experience and in my testimonial, to have the aesthetics side and the medical side come together and make it about, you're already beautiful. It's okay to have things that are inconvenient about you. and accept those inconveniences, it's okay to fix them too. That's what it's all about. To make you feel better and to have people here on the other side that can do it safely, that can do it effectively, and that can give you all of the proper information. And I hope that I've been able to do that for you today. And if there's anything that I can help answer, or if there isn't anything I can answer, I can sure go to Amberly and Ashley and find that information and bring those answers back to you. Or you can always go to Elevate Wellness and Aesthetics. You can always go and ask them. I will link all of their information down below. I will link all of their social media. They are very, very awesome about posting all of their services and their specials. And you can find them on the Mira Dry website. I believe now that they are listed as a provider. So I am a bit of a rambler now that I'm getting comfortable on going on camera, so not sorry. I hope that I can do this more often as my confidence in public speaking gets better. This is considered public speaking for me. Right now I feel like I've got 40,000 million billion people like right in that lens. So please be patient with me as I learn not to ramble. If there's anything I can help answer, or any questions or any video requests that you have for me to do in the future, I know I have a to-do list right over there. I'm gonna get to that, maybe do a few of those on that list a month. I do have a few that has piqued my interest that are at the top of the list, so you can expect those very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you subscribe, and thanks for watching.
It's easy to set a young heart on the run, to see it crashing out the sky, falling one by one, walking alone on the coldest night. There's nothing I could ever say to change your mind. I gotta live without your love. We've said goodbye. There's nothing I could ever say to change your mind. Defeated by the dreams and the memories we've made, to see it crashing out the skies like a tidal wave down on me, walking alone on the coldest night. There's nothing I can ever say to change your mind. I gotta live without your love. We've said goodbye. There's nothing I can ever say to change your